Today we're tackling a topic that's been making waves in the news lately, but really for the past 5 to 10 years. Should politicians be banned from trading stocks? This isn't just a conversation about the stock market. It's about trust, fairness, and the integrity of our democracy. Really, it's just about stopping people from doing illegal shit when we aren't allowed to do it as well. Okay, let's be real. So let's get into it. So let's say you're an everyday investor trying to navigate the ups and downs of the market using all the publicly disclosed information at your fingertips. But meanwhile, members of Congress who are crafting the very laws and policies that move these markets and ultimately the laws that you have to abide to are trading stocks in their personal accounts knowing full well concrete information that isn't public yet. Now, does that sound fair to you? Because it doesn't to me. And this isn't just speculation. There's real evidence behind these concerns. Apps like Autopilot and websites like capitaltrades.com exist, and they're laying it all out there as to what politician is trading what. And honestly, you don't even have to go stock by stock. You can pick a party and buy an ETF put out by unusual whales like the Nance, named after Nancy Pelosi, which follows Democrats, or the KRUZ ETF, named after Ted Cruz, which follows Republicans. These are just a few tools that you can use to mimic the trades of your favorite politician or political party, and they're making it possible for the public to track congressional trades. The irony is that people are trying to mimic the trading success of these very lawmakers who arguably shouldn't be trading at all. Let's talk about the unusual whales ETFs, specifically the Nance ETF, which over the past year has outperformed the S&P by 4%, but since inception, it's outperformed by over 17%. In case you're wondering, the Democrats seem to be better at picking stocks here than the Republicans. Check out this chart for last year, where you can see the dotted black line, that's the S&P, and you can see the S&P outperforming the Republicans, but lost out to the trading acumen of the Democrats. Here's the kicker. If you had blindly followed the most successful political trades, such as those disclosed in public records by the top traders in Congress, your portfolio might have outperformed the S&P by an average of 5 to 10% annually over the past decade. That's not insignificant. Compare that to the average retail investor who typically underperforms the market by about 1.5% annually due to trading fees, poor timing, and, well, frankly, they just don't have the right information. It's almost like congressional traders are playing a game where they know the rules ahead of time. Funny that. A bill called the Ban Stock Trading for Government Officials Act of 2023 aims to address all these glaring conflicts of interest. If passed, it would prohibit government officials, including congressional members, from trading stock. And let's be honest, this isn't just about optics, it's about ethics. Remember the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic? Well, some lawmakers were accused of positioning their portfolios based on insider knowledge of lockdowns and vaccine developments. And it's not just a one-off, from bank collapses like the Silicon Valley Bank to geopolitical events like the Russia-Ukraine war. The trading patterns of these lawmakers often align suspiciously with major news. Now, the Stock Act of 2012 tried to tackle this problem by banning insider trading and requiring trade disclosures. But here's the kicker here, is violations of this toothless Stock Act are rampant, and enforcement is weak to non-existent. No member of Congress has been subject to any civil penalties or charged with a crime for trading on information gained through their positions in Congress, despite the emergence of a handful of clear examples of congressional insider trading over the past several years. Sure, they'll throw Martha Stewart in jail for insider trading, but not themselves.
A bipartisan effort on Capitol Hill to ban lawmakers from trading stocks.
I want the American people to look at that debate and know that we're trying to decide what is in the best interest of the country.
I think we should be changing the law that we abide by at the federal level.
I mean, recently we've seen bipartisan support for banning stock trading in Congress. Even President Joe Biden mumbled, "Nobody in Congress should be able to make money in the stock market while they're in Congress." But not everyone agrees, as former Speaker Nancy Pelosi defended that right to trade, citing the free market economy, despite public outcry about her and her hubby's trading being better than most global hedge funds. Let's be real. If financial professionals like I once was can abide by strict trading rules, so can our elected officials. When I worked in investment banking, my trades were so heavily restricted that I couldn't trade a single stocks or even ETFs at one bank. At that same bank, I once tried to buy $25,000 of Bitcoin at $332 per coin, and they wouldn't let me do it. And as shit as that was, it's all about maintaining the trust and integrity and covering their ass, basically. You may be thinking, well, why didn't you just say F it and just buy the Bitcoin? Well, because they had all my bonus, which is another issue, but they had all my bonus and all my compensation from previous years being held in the company stock. So what happens if they can fire me for cause for violating a compliance issue? Well, I lose all of that, just to help you with that math. That means I'm sitting under a bridge saying, oh, I'll do anything for $10. Anything? Anything. Yeah, that's not the way I'm going out. So obviously I didn't do it. So what's the solution? A total ban on individual stock trading for government officials? It seems like a no-brainer, but here's the nuance. I don't think officials should be forced to sell their existing investments. Instead, they could hold their previous investments in blind trusts, or they could shift to diversified vehicles like ETFs or mutual funds. These options reduce conflicts of interest while preserving personal wealth. You could even institute 30-day holding periods, which most financial representatives in the world are subject to, at least of some duration. I think FINRA representatives are subject to 30-day holding periods. So not only would this eliminate conflicts of interest, but it might actually inspire confidence in their decision-making. Many argue that taking away trading for personal accounts by politicians will make worthy candidates not want to enter politics, which I think is complete nonsensical BS. Honestly, it didn't make me not want to go into banking, right? So if you want to go into public service, by all means do so. But don't think no one is watching you make money day trading your ass off on information the larger public isn't subject to. This issue isn't just about fair markets, it's about restoring faith in our government. When citizens see politicians profiting from their positions, it breeds distrust and cynicism. I mean, we deserve a government that works for the people, not personal financial gain. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Now I want to hear from you. Should members of Congress and perhaps all government officials be banned from trading stocks? I mean, should mandatory holding periods be established? What would you suggest as a solution to this conflict of interest? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video insightful, you agree with it, disagree with it, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share it with someone who cares about fairness in markets and government. Remember, kindness is the rent we pay on earth, so do something nice for someone.